out to Leszewski. Leszewski for three. Got it!
Money, huddle, gotta, cutter, lot of orders, dollars, quarters.
Welcome back, Irish fans, to Breaking Down BREY'S podcast. Today I have another episode of Breaking Down the Tape. We're going to do Matt Zona today. If you haven't checked him out in the past, I've done Elijah Taylor and then two versions of Blake Wesley versus Jared Konechny film. One of them was from the AAU game that they played a couple months back, and then one of them was from their high school matchup early in 2020 or late in 2019. I can't remember. But this one's going to be Matt Zona. I guess I'll give a quick briefing on Matt Zona. He committed to Notre Dame in late 2019, I believe, December, from Bergen Catholic. I'll show you two clips here of him describing his game and his interview with us in June. If you haven't checked that out, I would do that. It's a pretty good interview, really cool guy. But now I guess we'll dive into some of his film after these two clips. So here you go.
I think I'm an inside-out big man who can shoot it, and I play with a high motor, and I have a very good basketball IQ. I think I have a pretty good feel for the game, and I think that'll translate well to the next level. I'm still trying to work on becoming a better ball handler, but I think I can also shoot a little bit too.
All right, so now that we've heard from Zona about what he thinks about his game, I guess we'll go into his offensive ability now. I'll give a brief overview real quick. I think he's the most versatile big on the roster just because Nate's a sharpshooter. He's a guy who's going to stretch the floor, but he's not going to be a great post guy. Durham is not going to stretch the floor, but he's going to get blocks. He's going to play good defense, and he's going to do a lot of things down low for you offensively, catch alley-oops, hit those little floaters, fadeaways, stuff like that. And Elijah Taylor is going to be a defensive, athletic big who's going to rebound, and he's going to play really hard and do the dirty work down low, probably score a couple points while he's at it too. But Zona's different because he can stretch the floor. He can go in the post. He has really good hands down low. He can just do a lot of things for you. So I guess we'll get into his offensive ability now. Here's some tape of him, and I guess you guys can see what we've seen over the past couple months. So here he's going to do a nice little spin move to get to the basket, do a nice little floater. He does have a good array of post moves. You'll see throughout the video he uses a couple ones. So that's a big thing that college coaches look for when recruiting a player like Matt. So that's big. And then he can stretch the floor there, hits a three. Should have been a foul, but big shot there. And then just go straight up there. I think it's going to be tough for him in the ACC to get those kind of plays just because he's 6'9". He's a little undersized for his position. Well, he's not tall, oversized, but he's not going to get those kind of easy looks in the ACC too often. But I will say he's a really underrated passer. I forgot to talk about that earlier. Here, I don't love that he dribbles into a trap. He's not going to get away with that in college, especially being an less than athletic big. But good pass there for the opening. I think this play is pretty long. I think it's a post up or just a straight up layup. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on his passing ability. He's a way better passer than I originally thought. And you don't really hear people talking about his passing ability a lot. I think it's a really underrated part of his game. Just goes up for a layup here. Nice finish. You didn't really see that a lot in some of these clips, his finishing in his junior year, but that's something he really improved on. And then nice open three there. Good look. Bang. There's a lot to be excited about with him offensively. Like we've touched on earlier, I mean, I think this is it's a nice pass. I thought that was going to be a post move. Misses the three, so I cut it. But overall, I just really love his offensive skill set. Has really good instincts. He knows where to be. He can shoot. He can do it all down low. And that's what I really like. So then he hits a nice spin move here. Just like a weird left-handed hook shot. So now let's get to his defense. All right, so like I touched on earlier, Juwan Durham is going to be pretty much the main defender on the team. I don't know if I'm super impressed with Zona's defense, but it definitely could provide some value. Him only being 6'9" limits his ability as a shot blocker, kind of like John Mooney, who wasn't a great shot blocker throughout his career. Durham kind of took that role from him. Zona also has some quickness issues. laterally. So it's going to be tough for him to switch on ball screens. I think you could see them drop into a lot of zones, especially this year, if Zona ends up playing, just because it's going to be really hard for him to guard some guys in the ACC. For example, if he switched on to a guy like Prentice Hub, I think he'd have a really tough time staying with him and not letting him get to the basket or get an open three. But I guess we'll look into the tape now so you guys can see for yourself. So here, again, good use of his hands, and then he just gets blown by. Got to force him to the sideline there. I'm sure the coaching staff will preach stuff like that. I think he was trying to, he just wasn't able to. And then there, another example of his hands. He's not going to be like a huge shot blocker just because he's not super athletic and he's only 6'9", but nice play there. Nice fire after the play, which the Irish could really use. Another thing I like about him is that. And then this one I don't really like at all. It's on the press. Shows you his lack of quickness here. Gets beat. You got to force him to the sideline there. The sideline's your best friend right there. He does get the block right there, but you got to make that play for Zona. And then this, a lot of, I don't know, I think he's got to kind of fence that off. Got to get that rebound also. But, I mean, there's a lot of time to improve that, especially if he's not going to get huge minutes this year. So then this one, I think it's kind of the same thing. Just overcommits, gets blown by. Yeah, I don't know. That's a D1 guard right there. But wanted to end this off on a good note here. Good job staying with him. Uses physicality to make a bad pass there. So I love that play from him. It's just tough sometimes to stay with guys. He has a tough time with that. But I think he could really provide some value defensively. So then here's just some little stuff he does. Good instincts. I mean, he's not going to be overly athletic, but he's going to put himself in good spots to get rebounds. Nice job staying with it there and gets the putback. Nice move there. He stays with this one too. Great play. Draws the foul. Just really good hustle from him there. Love to see that kind of stuff out of your big men. And then I forget what this play is. I think it might just be post up or something, or a rebound. Oh, okay. So this just shows his instincts again. He's got to hit that layup, but I do like how he, faded off of his guy. Good instincts to make a play, get open. Just got to finish that next time. I also love the physicality on that play. Nice instincts there. Again, if that pass gets through, he scores easily. And then a huge rebound. Just got to finish that. The clips when he's wearing not the white jersey, those are from his junior year. So he's improved a lot since then. And then just hustle here. That was the only layup I saw him miss in this game. But just great hustle there, making a play. And that's all I have for this one. Let's get into the takeaways. I think Zona could really be a nice asset, especially later in his career. Right now, I don't know if he's worth putting in yet. I do think he could be really useful offensively, but I don't think it's a good idea to have him in the game at times, especially against teams who like to run a lot of pick and rolls, teams like Georgia Tech. But just because he can't switch on to guards that well, I think Jose Alvarado and Michael DeVoe, guards like that, would have a big day against us. So I could see Brey dropping into a lot of zones, kind of like he does with Dane Goodwin. You can really protect a guy in a zone. But, yeah, that's kind of all I have for his defense. Offensively, like I said, he can do it at all three levels. Here was a 3 in this clip. I think that's the main appeal of him is he's really versatile offensively. He's not going to be a guy who plays above the rim like John Mooney, but he is going to be a guy who can shoot. He can probably shoot maybe like upper 30s at one point in his career, like kind of like the Nate Laszewski level. I think he will be a guy that may have a little trouble adjusting to the line, being pushed back from the ACC to high school. But I do think he will be a serviceable shooter, especially for a big man. And later in his career, he'll be able to post up, maybe not to the level of a guy like John Mooney, just because of he's not as athletic. But he will be a guy who can post up, especially early in his career. I would love to see them run some pick and rolls with him, get some mismatches down low. But yeah, that's kind of all I have for him. Really looking forward to seeing Zona's career unfold at Notre Dame. And then next time we'll look at Tony Sanders' film and assess him. Another guy competing for that rotation spot left in Carmody's absence for the first couple months. I think Zona is a guy who can really prove a lot in these next few months in these fall practices where he's competing for a rotation spot, and he can show the fan base a lot early in the season in games. I would love to see him become a contributor, but maybe he won't be just because of his lack of athleticism right now, and he's not really a huge big, but that's kind of all I have. I'll try to get some podcasts out soon, but if you're still watching, thank you for watching so much, and go Irish. Peace.